Hello, I'm Judith Beville, your town clerk. Thank you for joining me. With me also is Harold Isanasan, Greenburgh resident, fine artist, graphic designer, and publisher. Like many other residents in our culturally rich community of Greenburgh, Harold brings a wealth of knowledge and experience as well as expertise in both business and the public sector arenas. His work has been featured in Ebony magazine and other noteworthy sources. He later developed one of the largest international minority ski organizations in the world. His passion for art and producing publications inspired him to reach out to local communities and capture the cultural contributions in pictures and in words. Harold, Paul Feiner, Bill Carter, Commissioner of the Theater de Young Community Center, and myself, along with many others, will be working together to produce a pictorial study on the African American contributions to the cultural mosaic of Greenburgh. Harold, please share with us some of the works that you've already done in this respect.
Hi, Judith. Good talking to you.
Thank you.
We are going to attempt to do a book on Greenburgh, predominantly on the Fairview section of Greenburgh, because that's where most of the African Americans lived back in the days. I just completed a year ago the book on White Plains, on the streets where we lived, and prior to that, I did a book along with Vinnie Bagwell on the African Americans living in Yonkers from the turn of the century.
And I would just like to mention, Harold, that Vinnie Bagwell was a graduate of Greenburgh Central 7 and has gone on to become a nationally and perhaps internationally at this time acclaimed fine artist as well as a sculptress. One of her most popular pieces of work stands down near the Yonkers train station of Ella Fitzgerald, who was a native of Westchester and Yonkers. And Vinnie has shared her experiences and expertise here at Town Hall. She's been honored during one of our Women's History Month events, and she has been willing to come and demonstrate her craft for the public. Thank you so much for mentioning Vinnie.
Yes, absolutely. As many know, and some may not know, she came to work for me when she got out of college.
Okay.
And she has progressed in the art of sculpturing and has produced a very important piece at Hofstra University of Frederick Douglass.
Okay.
We are attempting to produce another fine book on Greenburgh because this is a town that has not totally ignored it, but has not really given the African Americans in this area the kind of credit that it's due.
Okay.
So I'm going to begin by asking the public to contact me or with Judith or Bill Carter for photographs that you have of your parents and grandparents going back in Greenburgh from the 1900s on. And we thank you very much for your cooperation in this venture.
Awesome. So again, we're reaching out to all residents of the town of Greenburgh who may have pictures of the early presence of African Americans in the town of Greenburgh. And we are referring to the town entire, all of the villages as well as unincorporated Greenburgh, because we want this to be an all-inclusive project that involves people who may have pictures and also may have knowledge and experience working with African Americans going back to the early 1900s. And I just want to point to the book that's sitting here to Harold's immediate right, On the Streets Where We Live, is a pictorial essay of the city of White Plains, the African American community in White Plains, and the one to his far right is a similar pictorial essay of the African American presence in Yonkers. Well, Harold, you have just given me an opportunity as my guest for this early part of my presentation to talk about the kind of community outreach that I, as town clerk, have brought to the town clerk's office. The town clerk's job is basically as official records keeper of the town. There are several parts and components of my job that are mandated by state law and by town code. So as official records keeper, I am responsible for ensuring that the town is, that residents have access to any public documents that they desire, which would make it possible, their access through the FOIL law, Freedom of Information law. I also maintain the records of the town. I also oversee the cable television department. I maintain documents that are prepared by the town clerk's office, agendas for all town board meetings and work sessions, minutes of town board meetings. I also oversee elections in working in cooperation with the Westchester County Board of Elections. The town hall, Greenburgh Town Hall, is the main hub for coordinating the elections process here in the town of Greenburgh. I oversee a variety of permits and licenses, the handicap parking permits, the hunting and fishing licenses, filming permits, cabaret licenses, dog licenses, marriage licenses, the peddler licenses, canvassing permits, sanitation licenses, taxi driver and taxi cab licenses. We maintain vital records on file, birth certificates, death certificates, marriage licenses, as I mentioned before. We prepare and publish legal notices, bids, claims, summonses, and other various legal documents that are all served on the town clerk's office. So those are some of the major mandated functions of the town clerk's office. However, in addition to those functions, Harold, I have also, I just want to mention that as official records keeper, I have increased the efficiency of the office over the past several years. I've implemented strategies ensuring that all staff are cross-trained and capable of performing all of the mandated duties and responsibilities of the town clerk's office. I've upgraded technology to consolidate, simplify, and expedite access to town board meeting agendas and minutes through the implementation of a new software product called Agenda Quick. I've also received grants, awards, regional records recognition for improving records management and systems, and I've initiated the development of a records-focused disaster management plan for all departments in the town of Greenburgh. I've facilitated improvements in open government initiatives. I've established that the town board meetings are broadcast live and are streamed on the internet. I've implemented an accountability system improving the response time for FOIL requests. Several years ago and prior to my tenure, one of the major complaints to the town clerk's office was the a long period of time that it would take for people to get back their FOIL requests. I've implemented an accountability system that allows us to track the requests, what departments they're going into, whether or not we need to extend the time, and then getting them back in a timely manner. I've coordinated new organizational initiatives. I'm really proud to share this part, Harold, because it really takes a village to make an operation work. I've developed partnerships with our legal department and our board of ethics to implement new accountability procedures that have come out of the new ethics policy for the town, well, relatively new. I've improved the management of our boards and commissions and will be engaging a new software product that will also help us to better track our boards and commissions. I've established partnerships with Westchester County to provide document shredding services to our local residents. These are unprecedented partnerships that never existed before in the town clerk's office. I want to mention that to share with you as a resident of the town that I've also reduced expenses for taxpayers. I implemented a storage space saver system that for police records that has eliminated the cost of renting space for these records in outside storage spaces, saving taxpayers thousands of dollars. I've also consolidated village and town clerk responsibilities for dog licenses townwide. This has saved monies for our village clerks. It has prevented them from having to buy additional software to maintain this responsibility. I've increased revenue. I've increased volunteerism and in-kind contributions from local businesses. I've coordinated and facilitated the Cablevision Agreement, resulting in new public education and government funds of over $700,000 to the town. I've increased specific licensing fees in the town clerk's office. I've also developed volunteer involvement for our special events, activities. Oh, it's fantastic. When we do special events, I now have residents. Whenever they hear about a special event that's being sponsored by the town, people call me and say, Judy, I'd like to volunteer. You know? I mean, it's just a wonderful feeling to know that people want to feel a part of their local government. And I've also increased partnerships with local businesses for town events, specifically with respect to reaching out to our local food businesses who donate foods for our special events. Now, I want to go back to a point that I was making earlier, which is a reason why you're here. You represent the expanded community outreach that I have brought to this position as well. Unprecedented community involvement that never existed prior to my tenure. And in doing so, I've created opportunities for residents and area youth to participate in their local government. With special events training and expertise acquired from local, state, and United States presidential levels, I've coordinated the Greenburgh Student News Network, which I really hope to be able to involve you in when we start it up again this September. I've already received phone calls from parents saying, yes, my son and my daughter want to be involved with the Greenburgh Student News Network. And I just want to talk a little bit about that. We have with us, working with us on this project, a Greenburgh resident from Hastings who is a retired NBC newsroom director who comes here on a volunteer basis, meets with our young people, and is teaching them all about how to take a seed idea and grow it into a news story. She also teaches them how to do storyboarding and how to basically do their own research on the internet and through meeting people, working with consultants. We bring the consultants to them so that anyone who they meet with and they interview, it's done in a safe environment here at Town Hall. And it helps to build their stories. And listen, they are getting the experience right here to learn how to be a broadcast journalist, if that's a career that they want to pursue. So I really hope to involve you with our Greenburgh Student News Network this fall, because I would really love for you to demonstrate for our young people how to do graphic design. They would love it. In addition to coordinating Greenburgh Student News Network, I also coordinate the Berkeley College and Town Hall Summer Internship Program for area high school students. I coordinate fundraisers. I have coordinated fundraisers for victims of Haiti and Japan disasters involving volunteers who have donated their time to perform for free to help raise money for the victims of these disasters. I've coordinated outdoor free music concerts for the past 6 years that are held at the East Hartsdale train station area in partnership with Westchester Greenhouses and Nursery. And they bring the Hartsdale Avenue Farmers Market every summer to the East Hartsdale train station area. This is all done to help increase support for our Hartsdale Avenue businesses. I worked with Paul Feiner in coordinating the restoration of the 9/11 memorial that is at Richard Presser Park on on Central Avenue in Hartsdale. I also coordinated a fundraising event that was held right here in our parking lot to raise money for the Theodore DeYoung Community Center to purchase roller skates for the children there. I've also opened Town Hall to local women's groups, sororities, fraternities, educational and voter education forums, Girl Scouts summer camp program, Boy Scouts awards programs. And this all comes out of my energy, my management skills, and my desire to provide a town clerk's office that is more user-friendly and that is open to our community. My desire has been to create a town clerk's office that is a living government environment where customer service is the number-one priority. Okay? I just want to share a quote from a town resident. Judith Beville, a dedicated and progressive municipal official who over the past 6 years has demonstrated effective leadership and efficient management of the office of the town clerk, Viola Talaferro, town resident and businesswoman. I believe that I have brought innovation, creativity, and my desire to transform and, along with my staff, move the clerk's office from one that has merely responded to residents to one that is engaging and user-friendly. In closing, I would just like to state that, my opponent a few years ago referred to my fundraising events and events planning and the kinds of expanded community outreach that I have brought to the town clerk's office as a bunch of hoopla. I just want to say that I have received tremendous feedback from residents of our town, thanking me for expanding community outreach and for working with Paul in doing so. I want to share that I maintain high standards for integrity and independence as an elected official and a futures-oriented manager in the execution of duties and responsibilities of my office. I am a lifelong resident of the town of Greenburgh, and I hold a master's degree in public administration with over 25 years of leadership experience in public sector management, including education and special events planning. My expanded leadership experience includes local school board membership and current membership on the County Executive's African American Advisory Board, the New York Women's Equality Coalition, the NAACP AXO Planning Committee, and the Westchester Municipal Officials Association's Executive Committee that is comprised of leadership from local municipalities here in Westchester. I just want to thank you, Harold, for your contributions to the town, for your willingness to continue to share your experience and your expertise with residents, including young people, and for being here with me. Thank you.
You're welcome.
As your town clerk, I just want to add that I am in this for the right reasons. A resident once shared with me, "I commend your control and your strength, and I am honored to have you as my town clerk." I am gratefully and thankfully endorsed by the Working Families Party, the Black Democrats of Westchester, the Westchester County Veterans Political Action Organization, and the Democratic voters of the town of Greenburgh in 2007, 2009, 2011, and hopefully and gratefully, thankfully, in 2013. Thank you once again for your time and attention.